This month on the Interplanetary Podcast.
We're going to talk about Twin Peaks, land back on Earth. Welcome back, Tim.
Welcome back.
We're going to talk about Juno and its successful orbit into Jupiter.
Elon Musk's trip to Mars. I know that's something
yes,
very
his
exciting.
planned trip to Mars.
3,600 tons of rocket and about 50 tons of payload. So that's over 30 satellites. We're going to be talking about Lunar Mission 1.
The Interplanetary Podcast. The exploration of space for the benefit of all mankind. Your hosts here in London, Matthew Russell and Jamie Franklin.
Welcome
To podcast number 4.
4.
Here we
In
go.
your face.
Putting the ace back into space.
We can't have too many catchphrases, Matthew.
No.
Choose one, please.
No, I've got another one.
Here we go.
Which is down-to-earth banter about out-of-this-world stuff.
My only
No, it's not
problem
quite
with
right,
that...
is it?
No, my only problem is the word banter.
Okay.
It just makes me think of two people down the pub.
Bit of space banter on a Wednesday night.
Yeah, there were too many banters.
Okay, too
move
much
on.
banter. Let's move on. Still haven't had any suggestions. I was hoping that someone was going to write a good one.
Yeah,
in.
come on, guys.
So,
It's been a busy, month.
June was proper busy, Jamie. I'm going to go quickly through some of the rockets that took off.
Let's hear it.
So the first part of June, we had a rocket. It's only a small little rocket that the Russians have that puts up little sort of small satellites into low Earth orbit.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
we've got, straight after that was a Proton rocket, which of course is one of the mainstays of the Russian kind of technology. And that put a Intelsat up into orbit. The second stage didn't burn for long enough, but can you remember what came to the rescue here, Jamie?
Go on.
It was the Breeze M.
Oh,
Yes! So the Breeze M
I was hoping
literally
BM would come up.
Yeah, literally compensated for the bit of a poor performance of the second stage of the Proton, and was able to put the satellite into the correct orbit, etc., etc. So it's a win-win for Breeze M again.
Tell you what, saved the day or what?
But the really exciting one that I've been literally...
You've been...
I was literally so excited,
Yeah.
and I watched it with my kids, and we were, it's brilliant.
Listeners, if you had seen... I mean, the enthusiasm that beamed through Facebook when this happened. Go on, Matt, tell us all about it.
Is the June the 11th, the Delta IV Heavy, which is currently the most powerful launch system in the world. And it launched a top secret satellite into space, the Enroll 37,
which
which has quite a scary kind of mission patch, which is like a sort of Black Knight with a big sword.
Yeah.
All very emblematic of stuff. So let's have some Delta IV Heavy launch stats. To get its satellites up into orbit takes 220 million calories,
Sounds like a lot.
which I think is the same amount of calories that the Rock has per week to get into shape.
How many Mars bars is that?
It's quite a few, isn't it? 483,500 gallons of fuel. That's a few swimming pools.
I hope he took his nectar card.
2.2 million pounds of thrust.
No jokes.
No jokes.
Moving on.
3 tons of fuel a second.
Let's just compute that for a second.
300
tons of fuel per
No,
second.
no. 3 tons of fuel.
3 tons
of fuel per
Oh,
second.
well, it doesn't sound that much.
Now you've ruined it with
Oh.
your... And so that's the same thrust as 15 Boeing 787s. So as I was talking to Jerry last month on the podcast, we were talking about the turbo pump, and the turbo pump is a bit inside the rocket engine that pumps the fuel to burn. So the fuel has to get pumped in because it's using so much it's using 3 tons of fuel a second, right? So there has to be a pump that pumps that.
Mm-hmm.
And the pump that pumps it in the RS-68 engine delivers more horsepower than 16 locomotives. So just the turbo pump itself is like having 16 trains pumping fuel.
That's insane.
That is insane, isn't it? So these are like giant motors in themselves.
And yet Southwest Trains can't do one.
No, I tell you what, I'll get Southwest Trains. Remind me to talk about Southwest Trains because there's a link. There's a link a bit later on. Okay. So anyway, Delta 4 launch, super interesting. What I really like about it as well is that there's been loads of satellite geeks who've been tracking the NROL 37 satellite, which, by the way, I think has something like 100-metre diameter solar array or something. And then straight after Delta 4, we had a Long March 3C from Beidou in China, launching some military stuff, no doubt.
Sure.
And then straight after that, we had a Falcon 9 launching a Eutelsat. Now, poor old Musk didn't repeat May's fantastic bunch of achievements because when the Dragon was coming down, not the Dragon, I keep saying Dragon, it's the Falcon. When the Falcon's coming down, didn't quite have enough oxidizer and smashed into the barge.
Ouch.
And came back into the harbour as a crumpled mess. So do you know what Elon Musk and his friends call those kind of crashes?
Go on.
They're called RUDs. RUDs.
Any reason?
Yes, it stands for Rapid Unplanned
Podcast
Deconstruction. Rapid Unplanned Podcast.
Oh no, that would be a
RUP. A RUP. We've had a RUP, Jay. We've had a RUP, Jamie. Rapid Unscheduled Disassembly. That's what it stands for.
Just rolled off the tongue.
Or the Americans would call it Rapid Unscheduled Disassembly.
Yeah, that's true.
Wrongly. Straight after Falcon 9, we had Ariane 5 launch, a European one. And that launched not one, but two massive satellites. And I believe that was Ariane's largest ever payload that it's managed to get up into space.
Go on, the Europe.
And I watched that one as well, and that was pretty goddamn exciting. And that was on the same day as Tim Peake coming back down to Earth. So I think we'll talk about that a little bit later.
I saw a photo of Tim on his Instagram account about an hour ago with his first jog since he's come back down to Earth, and he was jogging through some woods.
Well, I believe you can actually take part in the same exercises that he has to do to get back to shape.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a special challenge. It's one of the Principia challenges, I believe.
Must be pretty hardcore.
Well, I think it is pretty hardcore. Straight after the Ariane 5 launch was an Indian rocket carrying Cartosat, and not just one satellite, but how many satellites do you think that the Indians managed to launch on June the 21st?
Oh, I'd say 3.
3?
Yeah.
20.
What?
20.
What?
So they actually managed to launch 20 satellites, and all of them got into the desired orbits as well. So it was a massive achievement for their PSLV rocket.
Wow. What's the biggest amount of satellites?
Well, I think that might be it. I think that might be it. I think that's the most. Record breakers. So well done, India, for that one. And then Atlas 5 launched a satellite, MILOS 5. This is where my Southwest Trains.
Here we go.
So I saw a picture of someone who was flying on Southwest Planes.
Nice.
Now, Southwest Planes has got the same colour as Southwest Trains. What's that about?
Same company?
I don't know. They haven't, but they've got the same colouring and everything. Same logo, almost. But so you can see the tip of the wing coming out, and he's looking down on the launch pad of this Atlas 5 taking off. You go, what?
That's insane.
It is insane. It's the best picture I've
Actually, I've flown with Southwest Airlines, and I believe it is an American, domestic airline.
Internal flight airline, that's correct. I
believe I flew from Los Angeles to San Francisco.
I flew from Oklahoma to Dallas.
Are we having a fly-off?
Yeah, I think so.
How many satellites did you put up?
How many satellites did I see? I saw none.
So Matt, just going back to Tim Peake, I just pulled up that picture of him on Instagram. His comment was, fresh air, green trees and sunshine. Great to be enjoying my first outdoor run today since the landing. He really did go on about the fact that the weather, quoting any weather, was amazing. The smells, just weather in itself was great to have.
Do you know what? One of the things that he did just after he landed, he retweeted a link that had been sent to him by his old school where they're singing a song about Tim Peake.
Really?
But they hadn't had permission to use the song.
Right.
So they'd put in the YouTube clip, please do not share except with people that you know. And of course Tim Peake, the first thing he does is share it. It's just like, he's quite famous now, so that's probably gone to everyone.
Yes.
So that was quite funny. And also Jerry Stone, who featured on last month's podcast, baked Tim Peake a cake, and Tim Peake retweeted it, which was nice.
Nice.
2 more launches there right at the end of the month, which I thought was going to be the last one, was Long March 7. Mm-hmm. Now, Long March 7 was a brand new rocket from the Chinese. And not only was it a brand new rocket from the Chinese, but from a brand new launch complex. On board of that are quite a few interesting things. So one of the interesting things was a scaled model of their crew vehicle that they planned to use to go to the moon and things like that. Nice. And that flew off and then came down in Mongolia. And one thing that's really funny is to look at the pictures of the Mongolian rescue people who go out and sort of go to the capsule. The Chinese people that went in their bright orange uniforms and everything, compared to the Russian ones that went and got Tim Peake and his crewmates from the Soyuz. Well, I think that's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. They sort of all turn up, they're like rolling it over.
It
just looks like
kind of casual, didn't it?
It looked so on space age.
It looked like someone's drunk mates had found them first.
It was like a bunch of. It was like a bunch of Russian builders. Yeah. And what's funny about them, they've all got like a bit of a paunch. Oh. Well, you know.
Mate, you're not stereotyping Russian builders, are you?
I'm not, but I am stereotyping the Russians that went. It was just funny that they were sort of rolling it and then but then in comparison with the Chinese, when they sort of went and collected their. It wasn't even carrying people, and they're all in uniform, and they've put a little flag by the side of it in the Mongolian desert.
Yeah, of course.
Pretty cool. But another thing that was on that on the Long March 7 was a satellite that's capable of pulling debris out of. So it's designed to it's got a little arm on it that can pull debris out of orbit. Okay. But people think, maybe it's not that at all. Maybe it can attack other satellites. So it's so some of the cargo on that Long March 7 could have militarised space somewhat, which is so there's quite a lot of controversy about what's in there. And I believe also they had a satellite that actually did some refuelling of other satellites. So it went and refueled another satellite. So that's pretty exciting stuff.
You brought up about the arm that could attack. Are there laws about what you can and can't send into space in terms of stuff being threatening to whoever may be on the other end of that?
Yeah, there is international laws, and actually there's quite a few bodies that sort of have these sort of that write the space laws. In fact, there was an update to the laws on the International Space Station as well quite recently about how the command works. But yeah, there's international treaties about using space. It's supposed to be purely for
so
peace.
Before a rocket goes up, there would have to be an external body that would come in to check everything that was going to be sent up.
Yeah, it kind of has to clear it because of course you can if you just are there sending any old thing up and not even looking at the kind of route it's going to take, you could smash down other people's satellites for a start.
Yeah, that's true. So don't do that at home.
No, that's a dull one.
What's up next?
And then right at the end, a little surprise launch by a Long March 4B of a military satellite.
One of my favourite long marches.
Well, do you know why they're called long marches, by the way?
No.
So the long march is when the Chinese army were trapped and they had to do a very, very long march. And that's just genuinely, it's named after the long march that the Chinese army had to do to get out of where they were trapped.
Wow. What would you call a rocket?
The Matt Russell trip to space.
I'd fly on it.
The MRT, the MRTTS, the Matt Russell trip to space.
Oh, that sounds good.
I like it. So anyway, that's the launches.
Nice.
So I'll tell you what was a really ace news article.
Go on.
Going back to our very first podcast about Lisa Pathfinder.
Yeah.
So
what's she up to?
Well, Lisa Pathfinder has been demonstrating technologies out in space.
Yeah, she has.
She has. And the technology she's trying to demonstrate is that you can actually set up a gravity detector in space.
What?
So she's been doing that for the few months that since our last podcast.
How's she been getting on?
Well, she's performed so well, 5 times better than's needed, basically.
Wow.
So it was a total success.
Amazing.
And that sort of news came at the same time that, of course, they made the second gravity waves detection at LIGO.
Yeah.
I did read about the propulsion system. This little propulsion system has the same thrust as a housefly.
That's pretty amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, so obviously it's whatever the form of propulsion, it isn't much, but it's enough to sort of get it into position. And
Yeah, who needs your 16 locomotive engines?
well, that's just the pump.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the millions of pounds of thrust. Yeah, I suppose there's a difference between getting something off the Earth, and once you're in space, it's like
That's
it's easy.
fine, yeah.
Other than Elon Musk's bit of a kind of damp squib when it comes to landing on rockets, what's he been up to?
Oh, let me tell you. Can I reel off some stats to you?
Yeah, reel off some stats.
Right, here we go. So, our favourite man, the Musk, has basically come out in a news conference and said that he plans to have a manned mission to Mars by 2025. So, how he wants to go about that is
25 or 24?
leaving on 24, but arriving on 25.
Oh, right, okay.
Because as you know, Matthew, it takes a month.
I thought I was going to have to do some editing.
No,
but it turns out you were
No,
right.
no,
right.
I'm totally right. So, 2018.
So presumably 24 is a launch window,
Correct.
and it just so happens that by the time they get there, it'll be 25.
Correct.
Okay.
So, 2018, he wants to start with the unmanned spaceship to Mars,
Which is the Red Dragon.
which is a Red Dragon.
We talked about last time, didn't we?
And then every 2 years, when obviously it's in its closest orbit with Earth, and then 2025 manned mission. And how he plans to do that, I mean, it's incredible. 140 million miles away from Earth. So, of course, if there's a problem, it's a massive problem because of the time it takes for you to get there. He said he wants to, and I quote, create a regular cargo route.
Yeah, well, what I really like about this is that he calls this a colonisation ship, is that right?
I can tell you exactly what he calls it. A Mars Colonial Transporter.
Oh, yes, Mars Colonial Transporter, that's it.
Yes.
MCT.
And he said that in September he's going to announce full details of that, and he can't now, but he's almost too excited not to. But he has stopped. And he said, and I quote, "This will be mind-blowing," which, I mean, no doubt, right? So he said that it's not about sending a few people to Mars. It's about having an architecture that would enable the creation of a self-sustaining city on Mars.
I mean, that is phenomenal.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
It's quite a sentence, isn't it?
Well, I'll tell you what, because I've been reading Elon Musk's book, and one of the sort of really kind of standout bits in it is that once he gets an idea in his head, he actually always has followed it through. So he's never actually failed on anything that he said. He always gives totally ridiculous time frames for stuff.
Yeah.
And he was saying that when he originally doing these, when he first started SpaceX, everyone sort of laughed at his timescales, but he thought that they were realistic. He always sets very, very difficult ones, and knew he was setting difficult ones, but he didn't realise how preposterous, and his excuse is that he didn't really know anything about the space industry, which he didn't. But the amazing thing about Musk is he reads books, and he just basically went and got all the seminal books, read them back to cover to cover, and he can absorb information, like just absolutely absorb it. He hires all the best people, obviously, and he sort of collars them in the middle of corridors and basically brain drains them. So he quizzes them, and at first they think, oh, he's just trying to catch me out, but then they realise he's not. He's basically learning everything. He wants to know 90% of what his space expert knows, and that's what he's been doing. So this guy is like, he has this formidable knowledge that no one knows more about the space industry. And
he's only been doing it for 14 years.
Than Musk. And it's like literally, and that's something I didn't realise. I just thought he was a really shrewd businessman and a clever guy, obviously, but I had no idea these kind of the intellectual endeavour is actually quite phenomenal. He has a certain.
So that's really interesting. He's never not accomplished an idea he's had.
Well, I mean, he's always gone for it. And
here's one for you, Elon. I bet you can't give me £1 million by next year.
Oh yeah. But I can't.
Maybe it's something he doesn't want to achieve.
Yeah. this is a bit like Inception.
Who needs
what we
money?
need to do is nest down sort of 4 dream states down and put that idea into
Yeah, that's exactly what we need to do.
Right. Yes.
Write in if you know how to. Okay.
If you're able to incept.
So a few more stats for you. NASA have come out and said that they will help with technical advice, but not financial, because of course they hope to do the same in the 2030s.
This is the thing that I'm finding a bit curious, is that really one of the sort of big discussions going on at the moment is NASA's SLS that we mentioned earlier, with the Space Launch System. That's first flying in 2018, so it's on its way.
Yeah.
But one of the problems is it might be a rocket that has no market, as in, so they're trying to think of things to do. And always, originally, it was to get to Mars. But really, they're kind of thinking, well, we're not going to have enough trips. There's not really enough things to do to justify having this massive rocket, of which we have to have several launches a year to make it financially viable. Yeah. And everyone's a little bit disappointed. So the argument now is raging about this thing called ARM, of whether they should do it or not, whether they should just abandon that project and sort of go to the moon and make the moon a priority again, which a lot of people are sort of advocating, but obviously not Musk, because Musk is he's not talking about the moon at all, is he?
Well, we've done the moon.
He's done the moon.
Let's go to Mars, colonise Mars.
So what he's kind of doing is putting a whole new argument out there about, let's just go straight to Mars, let's just do it.
Absolutely. Well, here's a few more final stats for you. So the SpaceX 2018 trip would use the Dragon spacecraft, boosted by Falcon Heavy, which would be a massive rocket powered by 27 first-stage engines, which would, at its time, be the most powerful rocket in the world ×2. But check this out. 5 million pounds of thrust at liftoff, 18 times the 747 plane. Now, 43 robotic missions to Mars have happened so far. How many would you say have been a success? And this is 4 different countries attempting those 43.
How many missions?
43 so far, over 4 different countries.
It's very, very few. I know that Russia have had an absolute disaster going to Mars. Virtually everything they've done has failed.
So it's 18. 18 out of those 43 have been success. So he knows that it's very, very dangerous and lots of room for failure. He's actually come out and said that, of course, it's dangerous and people are probably going to die. These people who go up there, he said, know that, and they're going to be paving the way for an ultimately safe trip to Mars when we colonise it. Sorry, when we...
Colonise? Is that multiple colonisations?
When we colonise Mars.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
New space.
And also Musk is saying that, of course, as soon as they go to Mars, and they've done it a few times, he said, I think on the 2022 launch will be, and I don't know why he specifically said then, but he said then so many people will be on board trying to push their experiments that they want to happen on Mars. They're going to want us to take it up there. So he's saying it won't happen straight away, but we'll do it on our own. And when people realise that it will be an easier thing to do, they'll climb aboard.
And everything he's done, he's done to make it more space age. It's like, no, this is old. Let's do something more space age. So his massive touch screens in the Dragon capsule instead of like clunky switches. It's like it actually looks like something from the space age rather than something from the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
It looks like something from a new space age. And remember, we've got Alan Bond in this country doing reaction engines and Skylon.
Yeah, it's not all about you, Musk.
No, and it's a pity, really, because obviously he doesn't have the same charisma or the same money that Musk does. See, what he's really done is brought a Silicon Valley tech company startup mentality to both the space race and to the electric car race. He's beating countries at their own game when it comes to launching vehicles into space. He's beating the enormous car companies at their game by releasing the first proper electric car. He's onto something, that kind of entrepreneurial spirit.
But is he onto something, or is it all just a computer game of which Whoever's controlling me, can you just sort a few things out, please.
Yeah. Well, Jamie, your computer switched off. Jamie.
What's been going on? Well, I'll tell you what has been going on. I mean, we mentioned it earlier. You mentioned it earlier. But Tim Peake's return to Earth.
I really did enjoy it, actually.
Amazing.
I really enjoyed it.
And great to see him back safely. Welcome back, Sir Tim.
Yes, I mean, there wasn't...
I'm calling him Sir Tim. Can't believe he wasn't.
He should be Sir Tim, shouldn't he? But I did enjoy... I enjoyed everything about it. I enjoyed getting up and watching the Soyuz leave the space station. I really, really liked the shot of it leaving. And then there was a few brilliant photos as it sort of looked like it was travelling towards the moon.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
incredible.
That was brilliant.
Absolutely incredible.
And
do you think when he got home that it was just that moment of no cameras in the face? I mean, imagine how knackered you are and you've come out the rocket, you're back on Earth, you're experiencing gravity again. And people are saying, "How are you feeling, Tim?"
I know.
I mean, it must be so nice just to get home with his family, have some pizza and a beer, as he said.
Well, I thought
just have no one there.
I tell you what was really good when after the burly Russians had rolled the capsule into the right position, polishing the front of the Soyuz.
Yes.
So we can unscrew it like a little bottle lid.
Mm-hmm.
And then they seem to sort of spend the next 5 minutes passing things out to this guy who's sort of like almost like shouting in through the come on, give it here. And I could just about see the Union flag on the side of Tim's arm. I thought, oh my God, he must be so... Imagine how excited it would be to be actually back on the ground.
Of course.
But what Tim Peake said that I thought was brilliant was the fact that it's really exciting when as you come down, because you really hear the explosion.
Yeah, when the explosion went,
Because obviously the Soyuz is in 3 bits, and the bit in the middle is the only bit that doesn't burn up in the atmosphere. So he was saying how exciting it was. It was literally in your ear, these exploding bolts as the bits of the thing come apart.
Yeah,
and then you're hurtling towards the ground.
Absolutely.
And there's quite a bit of flying going on, So they are adjusting their course to stop bits of the capsule getting too hot, but also so they're landing in the right place as well to alter their position where they're landing. So there's actually some flying going on, which presumably was by Yuri Malenchenko.
Yes, we should mention the other two because it has been all about Tim Peake. However, there's notable mentions
for Tim Kopra and Yuri Malenchenko.
Absolutely.
This is Yuri Malenchenko's 3rd time coming down.
He's old hat.
So for him...
It's just catwalk to him now.
It was quite funny, their faces when they're sort of sitting there. Yuri did look a bit more chilled than the other two.
Yeah.
What I thought was really funny is that they just looked like someone had invaded their picnic. So sort of 3 of them all sat in picnic chairs, sort of sitting there in the sun.
Cocktail sausage.
And then suddenly they're surrounded by Russian builders.
Yeah.
That's like
probably thought they were going to be mugged for their chutney or something.
So just as he was leaving, what did Tim Peake say?
Oh, I don't know.
Time to put on some weight.
Ah, there we go. Yes. So now I know he mentioned the pizza and the beer. What's the first thing that you're looking forward to? They said, pizza and beer, which we've had both tonight, Matt.
Oh, we have.
Yeah, we have.
We have, Jen. We have. Yeah, we're on the same. Basically.
So vis-a-vis, we're quite like Tim.
We are. Well, I'm separated at birth.
Yeah.
I'm the same age as Tim Peake. Adjusting to being back on Earth was what?
Oh, I don't know the quote. Hit me with it.
World's worst hangover.
Yes.
I bet it was a nightmare. But using a normal toilet and appreciating weather, any weather, and I think that's really quite cool.
A normal toilet. Yeah, you forget these small things.
Yeah, I mean,
that'd be lovely.
I mean, even when I go on holiday and I don't have a British toilet, I get upset.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Do you reckon that Tim's gone to the toilet and probably taken some headphones and been listening to the podcast?
I think so. Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely what he would want after being in space for 6 months.
Absolutely.
He'd want more space chat. If he's listening, what would you say to him?
I'd say, well done, Tim.
Well done,
I think
Tim.
Your crowning achievement is to get loads and loads and loads of children interested in space.
Amazing.
Who else do you think came down with those 3 astronauts?
Who else?
Yeah. What other Earthlings?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh yeah, well, apparently 150 other organisms that had been on a special mission that had been on the outside of the space station. They were also one of the science experiments that were brought back down to.
I'm
back
baffled.
Yeah.
Was he growing some wild rocket? See what I did?
Well, what were the seeds? They were rocket seeds,
Oh, I
weren't they?
don't know. Well, must be.
I think they were. I think they were rocket seeds.
If he didn't grow rocket,
He took
in
two
a rocket,
packets of seeds. He had 2 packets of seeds, and he took one into space, and then they're going to grow them and see if it's made any difference. Jerry actually was on Sky News holding the 2 packets of seeds.
Ah,
Which
good on you, Jerry.
Yeah, well done. Interesting. Quite a few members of the BIS were on telly over that period.
Unlike Gove,
Oh,
we quite like experts. We trust them.
Oh yeah, no, actually that is
Sorry,
true.
it's getting too political.
We're not going to mention.
Let's not mention.
I'll tell you what, we're not going to
anything
mention Brexit, other than.
Oh, you're mentioning it.
Yeah, other than the fact that ESA isn't anything to do with the European Union. It's a completely different
Thank
body.
goodness.
So even though Tim Peake was a European astronaut under ESA, it's a completely different
So we don't need to worry
organisation.
about
So we
that.
don't have to worry about that at the moment. So we're
Great.
absolutely
That's great
fine
news.
under that. So we're going to brush over Brexit.
We still love you, Europe.
One of the things that I thought was really cool. Actually, I'll say
Here we
one
go.
thing. There was one tweet by a BIS friend called Vic Southgate,
Love it.
and
What's going
she basically said that she came up with the idea that the capsule
Yeah,
should be brought back to the Science Museum in London and kept there.
that is an amazing.
And
idea.
I instantly jumped on this and suggested this would be a BIS campaign.
Absolutely.
And I just think it'd be a brilliant one. I genuinely think, obviously, the first official British.
Where do
astronaut.
they go? Where would it
Well,
be now?
It might go. They definitely go to museums, and because the cosmonaut exhibition at the Science Museum had 3 or 4 capsules in it, and they were really brilliant. That was the highlight for me of the exhibition, because you could look at them and see all the burn marks, and it was an incredible thing to see.
Yeah.
You go, that has been in space and has come back through the atmosphere, holding human beings, and not just human beings, some of the famous human beings. So it's they're really cool objects, and I just think that's a brilliant little that's a brilliant campaign. Isn't it?
Absolutely, I'm all for it. What do we need to do?
Well, I don't know. Maybe a listener out there will.
What do we need to do? Do we need to sign a petition? Do we need
I
to
think we just need to start
break in? No, we can't break in anywhere.
Maybe we need to invade Russia.
That sounds easy.
It sounds easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, we'll do that. David Shuckman, who was the BBC correspondent,
Shookers.
tweeted about touching the warm capsule, and I was thinking, that's such an ace thing, isn't it? And I was
Yeah.
thinking, they let mere mortals touch the thing as it's still warm on the ground after being through the atmosphere.
No offence to him.
No offence to him, but he's not, he's not a big burly Russian capsule
Who is?
mover, is he?
That's true. Is mover a word?
I think mover is the correct. That's what they're called. I think it's the Russian for someone who moves an object.
That's true. Yeah.
So what else happened? So the day after Tim Peake landed, and Ariane 5, the day after Tim Peake landed, and Ariane 5 put 10 tons of satellite into space.
Yeah.
In its heaviest mission to date. And by the way, that's the 72nd successful flight of an Ariane 5. Really unbelievable.
Knocking him out of the park.
That is knocking him out of the park. It's reliable is the word for
Yeah.
that particular space launch system. So June the 19th, Blue Origin, after a delay for the leaking O-ring, have done it again and launched and landed their reusable rocket, and for the 4th time.
Mm-hmm.
And it does look really routine for them. They can sort of just roll it out,
normal now, isn't
fly
it?
it up,
Yeah.
come back down. It did actually have some science. It had some small science experiment on there. Bezos has won the Heinlein Prize for Commercial Space Award for his efforts to develop a suborbital
Good
launch
work, Jeff.
vehicle. He's the 3rd person to win it,
Great.
and it's named after science fiction Robert A. Heinlein.
Ah.
Yeah. Tell you what we could talk about is something that I was involved in So I gave my first talk at the British Interplanetary Society.
Here we go.
So so the talk, it was about Lunar Mission 1, and should you check this mission out? It's a British-led, internationally funded mission to send a spacecraft to the moon to land in the polar region.
Wow.
And drill a massively deep hole, 100 metres. 100 metres. I mean, it's hard enough on Earth, let alone on another celestial body.
Yeah.
And they're going to drill 100 metres down, and the science from that is going to be incredibly interesting, because once you're down into the moon, because there's no kind of geology going on, you kind of can see what the early solar system was like, and have some really good pointers about what it was like, and therefore the origin of us.
Of course.
So it's a really interesting science experiment, but it does leave a massive hole. Now this massive hole then is going to be filled with a kind of a doomsday repository about all of mankind and the environment and everything that we do.
Oh wow, okay.
So it's like it's a time capsule. And they're going to put this in the bottom of the hole. Now this time capsule is designed to last 1 billion years. Now
take that pinky away from your mouth.
So it's lasted 1 billion years. It's got to last 1 billion years, and they've done the science of this, and there's going to be people's hair is going to be in there with their DNA, so you can pay to have a piece of hair in there.
Wow!
So that you and your information about you can last 1 billion years for a future civilization to find.
Could we put the podcast in there?
Well, I think the podcast will undoubtedly go in.
They'll probably call us.
So my bit of it is to come to help, and what I'm going to do is leading the British Interplanetary Society, is to start everyone thinking about how we're going to signpost this repository of all mankind, this time capsule.
What's the consensus?
Well, I tell you what, it's called the fourth sign. So this thing's got a lovely name, quite Arthur C. Clarke-ian, I think. And the fourth sign, a bit like the Sentinel, really, by Arthur C. Clarke. And the fourth sign, basically, if you were an alien civilization like we do, we're looking for stars like our sun that might be able to have habitable planets. Yeah. So they're looking out for those stars, and they'll find the sun, and they'll go, "Oh, there's an interesting star. That might have some planets."
Yeah.
So they'll look closer at that. So that's the first sign. They'll look closer at that, and they'll see that the Earth. That's the second sign, because they'll see the atmosphere and go, "Whoa, the atmosphere on Earth is crazy likely to have life on it."
Yeah.
So they're going to go, right, let's launch an expedition. So they're going to come in their interstellar spacecraft, maybe a bit like the Daedalus or Icarus,
of course,
and that will fly over. And then they'll find, oh no, all of humankind's disappeared. They've become extinct. Maybe 1 billion years' time is very unlikely that we're still going to be around unless Elon Musk has got us all over on Mars.
True.
So anyway, so that's the second sign is the Earth. Now they'll look up and see the moon and go, that's obviously a very important aspect of the Earth. You know, it important. So
we wouldn't be here without it.
No, well, it's very, it has a big part to play on life on Earth, etc.
No surfers, that's for sure.
No, exactly.
Sorry, Andy Buse.
Yeah, the moon gives us quite a bit. So the third sign is the moon. Now, the BIS have got to help the world come up with the fourth sign. So really it's a mission to sort of put the word out there and say, how do we build a fourth sign that points to this thing buried in the ground?
See, that's an interesting question, because obviously an arrow in our world means look here.
Oh no, absolutely.
But not in another world, probably.
Probably doesn't, even if you went and visited tribes in the Amazon who've never sort of, had no external influence.
Absolutely.
They'd probably go, well, what does this arrow mean? What does it even mean? What are you even talking about, a repository?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's absolutely. So one of the problems
you couldn't have a hand pointing this way, because what is a hand?
But not only that, whatever you build, whatever the solution is, it has to last 1 billion years. Now, so this is the problem. So one of the hardest things is to try not to think of the solution yourself. Because the trick for me is to go out into the world and come up with a system where the world comes up with the answer. Yeah, it's really difficult.
No, it's not. I've just worked it out.
Okay, so unfortunately, yeah, you've
So
done
it's
it.
a diamond post going into the ground.
Don't
That's it.
don't tell me about it, because what I want to do is come up with a sort of Google X Prize where it will be £1 billion. So you and me, because we heard about it first, we're going to come up with the answer.
Yeah.
You then submit that answer once the prize money's there, and then we'll share it.
Okay.
Cool.
That'd be great. Yeah.
So that's that one.
Do you think we'll still do this podcast when we're multi-millionaires?
I think we'll just turn it into a weekly podcast.
Yeah, probably because we'll have more time. We'll quit our jobs.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
We could start our own space company.
Watch out, Elon.
I'm so as driven as Elon.
Yeah, definitely. And I tell you what, I've definitely got the intelligence.
Right at the end of June. What was June the 30th? Something that Brian May was involved in.
Oh, Asteroid Day.
I went to a really good talk on Asteroid Day at the British Interplanetary Society.
Yeah.
How much material from outer space do you think lands on the Earth every day?
Ooh, in weight?
In weight. Well, what other unit could I have given you?
I don't know. I'd say
Feelings?
half a ton.
Half a ton. 140 tons.
What? I find that baffling.
It's amazing, isn't it?
And what's this made up of? Asteroids and
Just little bits of dust mainly. And
imagine the size of the Hoover needed for that dust.
Well, yeah. I mean, most of it luckily sort of burns up in the atmosphere, but some of it gets down to the ground, little tiny bits of it, and sometimes it hits people. And yeah,
so I wonder how many injuries every year.
Yeah, well, there's very few. I don't think there's any confirmed deaths, you know. And
really?
Yeah, and
Don't say it, don't. Commentators curse. Touch wood.
Whoa! But there was a brilliant one about this woman whose car got hit by one, like a great big, massive one like that, like the size of a bread bin. And it went straight through the boot of her car.
Oh God, was she all right?
Well, yeah, because the car was worth about £1,000, and then suddenly it was worth £12,000
Yeah,
because it was like,
yeah.
and these things are worth, they're worth quite a bit of money as well. Meteorites.
Suddenly it was her space rock.
So the asteroid belt is full of millions and millions of these objects.
Wow.
And one of the really exciting ones, of course, is Ceres. Which Dawn is at Ceres at the moment. So Dawn is in orbit around Ceres. It already visited the second largest object in the asteroid belt, which is Vesta. Now, a lot of people don't consider Ceres an asteroid because it's managed to become round under its own gravity, whereas Vesta isn't that big.
Yeah.
So it hasn't managed to do that. So Dawn is now currently orbiting Ceres and have done for just a little bit over a year, I think. And it's doing some absolutely radical science.
When you say radical, do you mean that in the kind of street term, like the way that youths would say sick?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like radical, proper, seriously good science. Obviously, this beautiful spaceship, Dawn, has gone round Vesta, stayed there for a bit, used its ion engines to nip over to Ceres and get into orbit there. But it's running out of hydrazine, and by the July the 12th, I think it was, it had to make a decision about whether they were going to try and send it past another object in the asteroid belt to have a look at it. But it wouldn't have had enough fuel to get into orbit. It's kind of used it all up now. Yeah. But NASA have decided to keep Dawn in orbit round Ceres and do more looking at it.
Awesome.
Which is awesome. I mean, that little white patch in the crater in Ceres that you first saw as it was getting close.
Yeah.
Is still fascinating. It's still chucking up some massive surprises about what it actually is. These salts that have come up to the surface, and there might even be like a sort of a watery surface underneath, something that's completely surprised everyone. So it's really amazing science. So Dawn is like a proper brilliant. It's a perfect example of a mission that's gone incredibly well.
Awesome. Long may it continue.
Yeah, like the Rosetta mission as well.
Absolutely.
But which was brilliant, which is and still remains to be brilliant. And of course, we heard that Rosetta by the end of September is going to land on the comet. Yeah. And go to sleep. Near Philae.
Night.
Go to sleep.
Hey Matt, I know one thing we haven't touched upon. What's coming up at the BIS?
No, one thing that's coming up is the BIS Space Conference at Charterhouse. which is in Godalming in Surrey, just outside Guildford, if you don't know that. Beautiful, beautiful building. And that runs from the 21st to the 23rd of July, so this month. So you should definitely get yourself down there, because Reaction Engines are going to be there. And we've mentioned them before, the makers of Skylon and Sabre engines.
Yes.
So, you know, it is your chance to go and have a quick look.
If people want to go down to that, how do they go about it?
They can go to the bis-space.com and book in. There's accommodation, there's meals, and you can choose which days you're going to attend and which.
Awesome.
So it's.
Can we go?
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah.
What we should do is go and maybe try and do some interviews.
I'd love that.
Let's do it.
Let's take our little dictaphone.
That's it. We're job done. So there'll be Lord Willits,
Yeah.
the Minister for Space. There'll be quite a few people from Surrey Satellites and Skylark, and talks on interstellar travel. Philae, Beagle 2, head of the Johnson Space Flight Centre, George Abbey, will be there speaking about the Apollo-Soyuz link-up. So it's some pretty impressive
that's
things.
a strong lineup.
And Alan Bond himself, with a personal recollection of amateur rocketry in the UK, will be also there. So it's basically, if you're into spaceflight and British spaceflight, then it is the place to be.
Be there
or be square. And of course, you might get to meet Jamie Franklin
or Matthew Russell.
What
a dream come true. Here we go.
So I was walking through Tesco's.
Is this a joke?
No, this is really true. This is one of my best things ever. So I was walking through Tesco's, and what should catch my eye on the bookshelf was Brian Blessed's autobiography.
Here we go.
Called A Blessed Life. Brilliant title.
Quality.
So I pick it up and I start flicking through, and this is no joke. I flick through to a page, and there it says, and this is genuinely, it says, George Lucas was so impressed that I was a member of the British Interplanetary Society that he gave me a role in Star Wars The Phantom Menace. And it was just like, it was so weird. The page literally fell open on that page. How odd is that? Gordon's alive!
If you can do a better impression than that, please send it in.
So both George Lucas and Brian Blessed are fans of the BIS. And also, I discovered a little nugget.
Here we go.
One of the very earliest uses of the word astronaut in non-fiction was by a chap called Eric Frank Russell, possibly a
mix
relative.
Of our names.
Yeah.
Here we go.
But it was in the November 1934 Bulletin of the British Interplanetary Society.
Whoa.
So
are we living in a parallel?
Maybe, but no. I think this is just another hint that somehow this is a computer simulation.
Oh, Musk is right again.
They keep putting all these little hints in, and we're just not taking them.
Okay, let me start off by saying, Matthew, in your opinion, what are the two greatest synthesizers ever made?
The Juno
and
Jupiter.
Yeah, I'd definitely say the same. And that leads us nicely. What a link. Do you know what's been happening near Jupiter?
Oh my god, so Juno has travelled something like 1.7 billion miles, or something like that, and it's taken 5 years, and it arrived within 1 second of the plan.
That is quite unbelievable.
You know, often when I've got my TomTom on and I leave to go down to Cornwall, it gives me a time. And often when I get there, it's within like 10 minutes. I'm always pretty impressed.
But a second
after 5 years
to Jupiter.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible, isn't it?
So it's now in Jupiter's orbit.
Yes, but its orbit is a highly elliptical one, so it's a kind of smash and grab type affair.
Lots of radiation.
Jupiter's radiation is massively intense, and not only that, Jupiter does actually have a ring system as well that you can't see, but it does have one. So Juno had to fly in and fly back out again.
So I'm assuming it was made of pretty tough stuff.
It's made of tough stuff, but really it's to do with the fact that it's got this highly elliptical orbit, which means it just goes in for very briefly and comes back out again. So the first insertion orbit, which required a burning of the Moog engine built in Westcott, UK.
Oh, you had to mention Moog, didn't you?
I did. The Moog. Well, it's pronounced Moog, I think, whereas the synthesizer manufacturer is pronounced Moog.
Very interesting.
Yeah. So one of these NASA engineers said this is the hardest thing NASA has ever done.
Wow.
Instantly someone did jump on that tweet and say that is the ridiculous statement. And I kind of agree with it, but I think any superlative statement is a bit silly.
Yeah.
And but all it does say is that how hard it was. Basically, Juno performed perfectly, and so it went in. It started to spin. It span up to stabilise itself so that it didn't wobble on this crazy bit of manoeuvring that it had to do.
Yeah.
And now it's in this massive orbit, so it's going to... I can't remember how many times it's going to do it and how many months.
Yeah.
But yeah, Juno's going to be in a kind of... It's going to do lots of these flybys and try and grab as much science info as it can and peer underneath the clouds.
Absolutely, and one of its goals is to find out what's in the core of Jupiter.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
what do you think's in there, Matt? Marmite?
I'll tell you what. We'll definitely talk more about Juno next month because
much more will have happened.
Well, one of the things, this insertion orbit was so difficult that they switched. All the power had to be dedicated to the manoeuvre itself.
Yeah.
So that solar panels were pointed away from the sun, and it's gone in and it's done this manoeuvre. So it actually, none of its other systems were on, so it didn't grab any new information.
Yeah.
In fact, a really good shot actually as the Juno is approaching Jupiter. It's taken a very, very good kind of family portrait of Jupiter and three of its moons actually orbiting.
Nice.
And so it's a brilliant shot. It might be a first actually of Jupiter's actual film of Jupiter's moons orbiting.
Lovely.
And it's really nice little shot. But then that got switched off as it kind of approached.
Yeah.
Because they needed to concentrate everything on this manoeuvre. Another thing that happened was Russian deputy PM demands speed up of Vostochny. We spoke about this last time.
Yes, we did.
And of course, so everyone's a little bit scared. United Nations and Sierra Nevada have signed an agreement to collaborate on the Dream Chaser missions. Now, Dream Chaser is Sierra Nevada's space company's little launch vehicle that now has been given the green light to sort of try and get people...
See, now that's a good name for a rocket. You can keep your dragons and your falcons. Dream Chaser.
And of course, again, it looks like a sort of little mini space shuttle.
Yeah.
But instead of being launched on the side or being its own kind of with its own propulsion system, it will be in the fairing casing on the way up, but then will come back down like a shuttle. Oh, another really big one actually was SLS.
Yeah.
The space launch system we talked about earlier. The Orbital ATK have tested the big booster, which is the largest, most powerful booster ever made.
Yeah.
3.6 million pounds of thrust this thing's got, and it burnt 6 tons of propellant every second. I think Elon Musk actually sort of thinks the whole booster thing's silly. He thinks that it's a ridiculously antiquated piece of technology. Hence his.
Of course he does, yeah.
Yeah. Hence his Falcon Heavy doesn't have that kind of booster, strap-on booster kind of technology.
Yeah.
But solid fuel boosters do give you a big kick. Or 3.6 million pounds of thrust.
Yeah.
And the next time one of these things will be lit will be in 2018, when 2 of them will be either side of the SLS taking off.
Alright.
I'm almost tempted to get tickets to go and see that. If we're going to see a space rocket, let's go see the big one.
Yeah, definitely. Go big un or go home and...
New Horizons that famously flew past Pluto.
Yes.
A lot of the data is still obviously being streamed back on its pathetically low bandwidth modem.
Yeah.
And some of
dial-up, isn't it? Dial-up.
Well, probably slower than dial-up, and it's coming back. But one of the things that looks like very, very feasible is that Pluto has a subsurface ocean, which is totally amazingly surprising. So that Pluto again could have yet another body in the solar system that's got one of these oceans.
Wow.
Potential, and of course, where there's ocean, where there's water, there could be life.
Absolutely.
Oh, imagine if there was life on Pluto. Nicola Blackwood, MP, said the UK has so far only taken small steps towards launching a national space programme that would enable our innovative space and satellite industries to get the flight heritage they need. Now is the time to take a confident leap towards that goal.
Yeah.
So, of course,
Amazing.
all that's to do with looking at where we're going to have our spaceport. My favoured spaceport is down in Newquay.
Whose isn't? Matt, can I just say, it's been a pleasure talking with you today. Thanks for doing the fourth one.
Oh, this has been brilliant, Jamie. Thanks very much.
Cheers.
And we've been round at Jamie's house today, didn't we?
Yeah, you're going to cycle home now, aren't you?
Yeah. I'm
Be
gonna cycle
careful, Matt.
home. And thanks very much for listening, everyone. Now, remember, if you want to send in any questions,
Yeah.
it's matt@interplanetary.org.uk.
Absolutely. We'd like your space questions. We'd like your rocket questions. We'd like your Mars queries or questions. And we've got some experts that we can consult down at the BIS.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And if there's anyone that you think we should talk to about any subject, let us know and we'll try and arrange it.
Absolutely.
That'd be fab. And also, don't forget to go to interplanetary.org.uk, and that's where all the links to our iTunes, Stitcher,
Facebook,
TuneIn,
Twitter.
Tumblr.
We're literally all over the
all
net.
over it.
Yeah. Some people are calling us the best podcast in the world.
Yeah, that's not just science-based podcast, just podcast.
When I say some people.
So, if you want to vote for us to be the greatest podcast ever, then you should vote for us at all the awards that podcasts go for.
Yeah, I mean, come on, do your
It must
bit.
be the National Podcast Awards,
I mean, we're sitting here for you.
the NPA.
Week in, week out. Least you can do.
So, bye, listeners.
Sorry, that was a bit aggressive. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for listening.
Speak to you next week.